Hi AMC fans, I'm John Dowdle.
And I'm Drew Dowdle.
And our new thriller, As Above, So Below, will be in AMC theaters August 29th.
Before our movie takes you deep inside the Paris catacombs, check out this edition of AMC Movie Talk.
Welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm your host, Ashley Mova, and this is the daily show where we give you all of the latest news from the world of movies, plus a little bit of insight into what it all means. Joining us, as always, is AMC Movie News Editor-in-Chief, John Campea.
Well, greetings and salutations, my most noble sons and daughters of AMC. Welcome to the show, coming to you live from the Stream.TV studios here in Hollywood, California. We are so glad you decided to make us part of your day.
Also here, writer-director John Schnapp.
What's going on, everybody? Happy to be here on a Thursday.
Thursday. That's rare for you to be here on a Thursday.
Normally not here. So.
And also here, one half of Schmoes Know, Christian Harloff.
I just love how the dude in the back was just smiling at you, Schnepp. Like, you're just looking like, I'm so proud of you for getting that movie.
That's right.
The upcoming Fantastic Four reboot hits AMC theaters on June 19th next year, and we may just have our first look at the new Doctor Doom. These pictures are making their way around the web today and claim to be from the set of the new film. Doom is being played by actor Toby Kebbell, who just played the evil ape Koba in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and will be seen in the upcoming film Warcraft. John, if these pictures are real, and we emphasize if, what do you think about them?
I'm glad you said emphasize if. Yeah, if they're real, I believe they are. I'm going to tell you, I've seen some people online, the reactions online already, be very negative about the look. I'm telling you, I love it. I love it. And why do I love it? Because one of the parts, this is a moment of disbelief you always have to have in most superhero movies, especially in the origin stories. Okay, average guy becomes superhero. Where the hell did he get that costume? Like, seriously, where the hell did that costume go? Especially if, look, if you're talking about a human being who's mutated and twisted and whatever by, space gamma radiation or what was the type of radiation?
Cosmic rays in the original
Cosmic rays,
comic.
right. That hit, blah, blah. It's not going to be pretty and clean and sheen. I look at that and think, hell yeah, that's great, especially if this is a dude that, before he refines himself and gets the armor and all that kind of crap. I think it looks great, actually. I'm all for it. So if this is real, big if. If it is, I think it looks great. What do you think, Christian?
I love it. And I'll tell you why I love it. Because the more and more this movie, a lot of people have been saying with the casting and everything, everyone's been crapping on this movie. I think it's going to wind up being a big hit because I love what Trank is doing with this.
Right.
And like you said, from rumors that I have heard, even the Thing, when you first see the Thing, he's not going to be that orange thing that you like. And everyone's going to go nuts when they see it, but it's evolution. This is evolution. And Toby Kebbell, by the way, is a superstar actor. That guy is going to great. He was great as Koba, and you saw a little bit of what he could do there, and he brought a lot to that character. Toby Kebbell is a superstar. This costume is going to evolve into the Doom that we know. I love
Can't
it.
wait to see him in Warcraft.
Me
Cannot
too.
wait to see him in
definitely.
Warcraft.
Yeah, I'm super surprised of your guys' reaction because I'm in the same boat. I thought you guys were going to hate on it. We really don't talk about stuff before the show because we want to save it. But yeah, I actually like these images too. Surprisingly, completely different than the comic book, which is why I like it. It's refreshingly different. He looks like a creepy garbage bag man monster thing.
But that's not to say it can't turn into what we know.
I believe he will. I believe, if he does come from Latveria, maybe he's got some armor there from his castle or whatever. We never know how they're going to work that in. But, in the new Fantastic Four version, they all get powers, they all transform. It looks like he's got powers. It looks like he's floating. He looks creepy, scary, like a hobgoblin-y mixture.
It looks like he's missing an arm.
Yeah.
I think his arm's just up.
Oh, maybe
blurred.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
But yeah, it's like I don't know about the other guy though.
Oh yeah, it looks like motion. It looks like he's giving him the finger. Actually, it looks like quick motion blur, and he's giving him the finger.
The other guy looks kind of dumpy. I think they should fix the other guy though. I mean, that's a character design I'm just not into. That dude with the weird patchwork green.
He kind of looks like the Rock circa 1996, Rocky Maivia.
He's got a faux hawk going on. He's got a faux hawk, and he looks like he's holding a walkie-talkie. I think they should get rid of that guy.
I think what we're looking at there, to be serious, I think we're looking at a stand-in for the motion capture for Thing.
Yeah.
That's just a guess, a wild. But look, I've said this before, and I will bring it up again. I am one of those people who was crapping on this concept right from the beginning. I coined the phrase Fantastic Four babies. I did not want the Fantastic Four babies. I didn't want them to go younger. I wanted older, more mature, all that kind of stuff, and I was totally against that. But that being said, I have to admit, everything I've seen them do since has been what I would want them to do. They got on a fantastic director. We just saw what Simon Kinberg did with X-Men Days of Future Past. This is a star talent-filled cast. This cast is loaded with talent. I couldn't have asked for them to do anything different. I've actually come around to, I think this is, I don't know if it's going to be a hit or not. We have to wait and see how the audience reacts. But I think this is going to be a good movie. I really do. I'm now on the bandwagon that I think this is going to be a good movie.
Yeah, I think all the changes that they've done with the script and with Trank's direction are, even for hardcore Fantastic Four fans, are going to work. I think personally, I'm a hardcore Fantastic Four fan, and when I first heard about some of the changes, I was like, what? But as I've thought more about it, it's like, it really makes sense in our day and age, you know?
Now keep in mind, take with a grain of salt that I'm also a guy who said, I got a feeling this Transformers is going to be good. I got a feeling number 4 is going to really surprise us.
That's Kool-Aid. That's Kool-Aid. So, but this is going to be a hit. I'm saying it's going to be a hit.
All right, what's next?
According to The Hollywood Reporter, Lakeshore Entertainment is looking to reboot their Underworld franchise. The original franchise primarily featured Kate Beckinsale and had 4 theatrical installments, with the last one being 2012's Underworld Awakening. Christian, what would you think about the idea of rebooting Underworld?
I would think that whoever's writing letters to ask for reboots, stop it. Get away from your computer and go play baseball. Who's asking for this? Who's asking for a reboot?
Who plays baseball?
But who's asking for a reboot of this? I mean, if you want, I know it has a fan base. I know that Underworld, definitely from what they've done, has a fan base. And if you're going to do another movie, sure. I don't necessarily love the movies, but I understand if you're going to continue on the storyline and the mythology and move it around, maybe bring in new directors and stuff of that nature. But why need to tell the story all over again and reboot it? I don't understand. I don't like an idea of a reboot at all.
Snap.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know. I actually wrote the Underworld animated 3-episode Endless Wars, which was a lot of fun. I got to introduce like these brand new werewolves, and it was a lot of fun making it. And I think I agree with you. I would hope that they would just move the franchise forward. They don't have to have her as the main character, but they've already established the Underworld series with the vampires and the werewolves. You know, whether they do a complete reboot or they actually do like a halfway, one, I'm all for them continuing the series.
Spin-off is
cool.
cool.
Do spin-offs.
No, time to reboot this baby. I'm all for this, and here's why. Because if you've ever heard me talk about Underworld, I've always said, hey, that first Underworld, I think they made a lot of mistakes, whatever, but I was still on board with Underworld because I thought they set up this great mythology. I thought there was something there that could be really cool and great, even though I wasn't so big on the movie itself. And then they did number 2, and then they did number 3, and then they did number 4, and they just declined and declined and declined. But that's why I am all for rebooting this, because I think your base mythology here of this ancient war between the vampires and whatever. And I've always said, when you reboot something, totally redo the cast, except for J. Jonah Jameson with J.K. Rowling, right? I will make one other exception. You bring back Bill Nye as Victor. I would be okay with that. I would be okay with bringing back Bill. But I think you've got great characters, great mythology, and I think you can do it better and make a great movie than what they did the first time around. So personally, I'm all for it.
You got to call them Lycans. That's
that was
Lycans.
Lycans. All right, folks, we reached that part of the show for buy and sell. Here's how this works. In front of her, Ashley's got a few other items in the world of movie news. She's going to run them down. And then those of us at the table are simply going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So, Ashley, what do we got?
Guy Ritchie, director of such films as Sherlock Holmes, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, and Snatch, has been developing a King Arthur movie, which is set to hit AMC theaters in July of 2016. According to reports, Ritchie has found his King Arthur, and it's none other than Sons of Anarchy star Charlie Hunnam. Hunnam would join his Pacific Rim co-star Idris Elba, who was recently cast as a Merlin-like figure who trains and mentors Arthur. Schnappa, what do you think about the casting of Hunnam as King Arthur?
Well, I like Idris Elba as like a Merlin-esque character. That's great. I'm on the fence about it right now. I mean, I like him in Sons of Anarchy. I thought he did a great job in Pacific Rim. Sam Crow. Can't wait to see the end of that TV series. But as King Arthur, I really hope he gets his lines down a little bit. I don't want him to be that same guy. He's got to bring it. So I got faith in you, Hunnam. Do it.
Okay, I'm gonna sell this. Despite the fact that I'm a huge Guy Ritchie fan, Snatch is in my top 10 all-time favorite films. Love that movie. I just really love what Guy Ritchie does with his movies. Huge Sons of Anarchy fan right here. Obviously, we kind of modeled that the Sons of AMC, right? And I love Charlie Hunnam as Jax in Sons of Anarchy. And I love Pacific Rim, but Charlie Hunnam was not a strength in Pacific Rim. I haven't seen anything that suggests that Charlie Hunnam can do this kind of a role. I hope we get really surprised. I really like him in Sons of Anarchy, but I haven't seen anything to tell me this dude can pull off King Arthur yet. Totally, we can be surprised. We can be totally shocked. But if you're just going to ask me right now, buy or sell, I got to sell.
I'm going to agree with everything you said, but I'm going to buy it. Because of the reason that I want to see, the fact that I do like Guy Ritchie and that he sees something in Hunnam that maybe he wants to give him the shot, and that this could change our opinions of him. Because I agree with you, you didn't really necessarily have to be a tremendous actor to be in Pacific Rim. It was just getting the robot, do your thing. But he wasn't the best in that. I've seen parts of Sons of Anarchy. I want to watch more of it, but what I've seen, capable. But for me, I still want to see Excalibur. That's the movie I want to see. But
it already exists. John Borman made it.
I know. But I want to see them redo it in today. But I do. I'm curious, and I love Idris Elba as the Merlin character. That's really cool. So let's see what he can do. I agree that I don't know if he's the strongest actor, but I'm willing to say, okay, I buy this because I want to see Guy Ritchie's version of it, and I want to see if the guy can pull it off.
I just hope that it's the best Guy Ritchie version. I don't want him to chintz out.
Right.
Like the last Sherlock Holmes is kind of unwatchable for me. Like he's got to bring his A game to make this King Arthur the best version that it can be.
And sometimes though, when you run into like whether it be the sequel and stuff, you worry about how many cooks you get in the kitchen with the studio, and it's not to say you won't run into that problem with this one as well too. But that's what I think happened maybe with the second Sherlock is you have this person putting it all together, and you lose your vision of it. But if he has the vision of Arthur, he wanted to do it. Maybe he's got a clear-cut vision of what he wants to do. And maybe Hunnam's the guy. We'll see.
All you need now is Charlie Day to come in to play Lancelot. You'll have like a Pacific Rim reunion, and like Arthur and Merlin and Lancelot can be fighting kaiju.
Yeah, the sword turns into a robot. It's like, what's happening?
All right, what's next? That was a good Charlie Day.
It's been almost 4 years since WB announced it was developing a live-action CGI hybrid film based on the fictional Looney Tunes company Acme. You know, the company that would send Wile E. Coyote all the contraptions he would use to try to kill the Roadrunner. The project seems to be moving ahead now as Steve Carell has joined to star in the film. John, buy or sell the sounds of Acme with Steve Carell?
Buy. I think this sounds awesome. Are you kidding me? I want to see Steve Carell in the warehouse of Acme, like overseeing everything. I think there was a Looney Tunes something or other a few years ago where Steve Martin played a character, played the head of Acme, and I think his name was Mr. Chairman or something like that, but whatever. This sounds great. I'm excited about this. There's nothing about this that makes me either feel worried or discouraged at all. I think this sounds awesome, Christian.
Before I buy or sell it, so just want to make sure, because maybe I just didn't. Is it going to be like a Roger Rabbit type thing, or there's going to be actual animals?
I think it's going to be a mix of live action and CG.
Then I buy it. If it's a live action where we actually have like performance motion capture coyotes and roadrunners, I start to go, I don't know. But if it's actually Steve Carell, Space Jam style, yeah, that sounds fun. That sounds like something I want to see. And this is a dude that very similar to again, like the late great Robin Williams. He commits to everything that he does, whether you like his movies or not. Carell is going to give you 150%.
People are already talking about Oscar for him for Hawks.
That's my point, is that he can do something like that, and then you want if there's one guy right now you want running around with Wile E. Coyote and the Red Runner, it's Steve Carell. So yeah.
I buy it as well, and I'm hoping that he's like a mixture of his role in The Office and Brick. Like he's combo. He's in charge of all these weird Acme products, and like there's insanity exploding, and
he's going to be screaming and he's going to be yelling every time he gets hit in the head with a brick. It's going to be funny. Yeah.
I can't wait. Yeah, I excitedly buy it. But I don't know if it's a mixture of live action or is he playing that coyote. But if it is live action, a mixture. That's what you heard. That's what you read.
What I understood, and I could be wrong here, but my understanding is that he's playing the head of Acme. That's my understanding of it, and that there's going to be CG characters as well.
Wow. Well, then that sounds really exciting.
Although I could be completely wrong about that.
I mean, hey, as long as it's him playing the head of Acme and he has to deal, I think his characterization of that is perfect. So, at least in our minds.
Well, I'm so excited because it's been announced that Lionsgate will re-release the original 2004 horror film Saw back into theaters for 1 week on Halloween to celebrate the film's 10th anniversary. Collectively, the 7 Saw films made $874 million at the box office worldwide and have been cited by the Guinness Book of World Records as the most successful horror franchise of all time. Christian, buy or sell re-releasing Saw back into theaters?
I buy it for a week. It's right before Halloween. It's an event. It's things for people who love the franchise. It's a successful franchise for a reason. And for maybe younger horror fans who had never seen it before, and they have to get to go and bring a group out and get scared out of their minds to watch it for that week before. If they were just doing it for like a run, like a 2-3 month run just to watch Saw, but it's for Halloween. It's festive and it's nutty, and yeah, I buy it. I won't be going, but still.
I buy it as well. It's milking the teat. Why not? I mean, it's like they claimed Halloween for 7 years in a row.
Yeah.
And each time they claimed it, it diminished a little bit until we got the kind of the not so good Saws. But this Saw is the best Saw. So why not? Like 10 years later, that's an easy $15 million with very minimal advertising. We're like, hey, remember Saw? People are like, yeah. Remember when you were like 8 and you couldn't see it? Now you can go see it in the theater or whatever. It's just, I agree. It's easy money and it makes sense. And it's sort of like, I think it's them still claiming Halloween. They're like, look, we still own Halloween. And then we'll come out with the new Saw next year.
Yeah.
But
Saw in space.
Yeah.
Saw takes New York. I gotta buy it too. This is a nice idea. Look, love or hate the Saw franchise, the original Saw is an important film in Hollywood because of it sparked off that whole franchise. It kind of took it created a unique subgenre as well within the horror community. And look, the biggest mistake the Saw franchise ever did was letting the Jigsaw character die. Because then they spent 5 films after that. How can we come up with an excuse to still have Jigsaw in it? Like, Jigsaw must have spent 30 years of his life making those videotapes.
Right.
With all these intricate panels. That's the only explanation for it, right? But that was the biggest mistake. I think it's nice celebrating the 10th anniversary, put it back in theater. I don't think there's a lot of strong horror contenders coming out this October anyway, so it's a good move. Why not? It's a buy. All right, folks. Well, we've reached that part of the show for Mailbag. Listen, if you've got a topic or a question you'd like us to address on the show, you can email us anytime at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Now, every day we take a couple questions from the mailbag, but we're going to let you know, too, that if you're watching us live right now, and we do this show live every day, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, you can tweet in some questions right now that Ashley will be seeing and look at with her very own eyes. So you can send those in, and she'll pick out a couple of questions at the end to use at the end of the show. But for now, let's get to the mailbag questions. Ashley, what do we got?
Jorge Velez writes, my question is, with the summer movie season now over, what films disappointed you guys the most, and what films were you expecting to like, moderately enjoy, or dislike that you ended up absolutely loving or just simply liking?
Well, okay, so for me, I set up like a rule. Out of a scale of 1 to 10, what did I think that movie would be? And for it to be a disappointment, it has to be at least 3 full numbers less. For it to be a real surprise, it has to be at least 3 full numbers more. So under my disappointments, I'm going to list 3 that were disappointments. One is Spider-Man 2. I still ended up liking Spider-Man 2, but I thought Spider-Man 2 was going to be a 9 or a 10. I honestly did. I really thought it was going to be a 9 or a 10, and it ended up for me probably, I think originally I gave it a 7. I watched a few more times. I might now have it settle on like a 6 for me. So still, in general, liked it, sure, but compared to the first one, huge downturn, and just not nearly as good as I was hoping it would be. The second one, well, I think everybody will agree on, is A Million Ways to Die in the West. That I was expecting an 8 or a 9 minimum, maybe ended up being a 4 for me, so that was no good. But the biggest one for me, I alluded to it earlier, is Transformers 4. I drank the Kool-Aid. I thought that the trailers convinced me. I thought this one's going to be an 8. It's going to redeem the franchise. Ended up for me maybe being a 2. Probably more like a 1.5. It was that bad for me. On the positive side of things, I'll mention 2 that exceeded at least 3 points better than I thought it would be. Edge of Tomorrow. That we said it before, worst marketing campaign I think I've ever seen botched in the history of Hollywood. I thought that movie looked like it was going to be a 3, a 4. I'd probably give it an 8, 8.5, maybe even a 9. That movie's fantastic. And the other one is going to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Once again, I'm not saying you should run out and see it, but I honestly thought that movie was going to be a 1. I thought maybe 2, and I'll give it a solid 5. 5 out of 10, I'll give it. So That's a huge improvement over what I thought it was going to be. So, so my really big disappointments, Spider-Man 2, Million Ways to Die in the West, Transformers 4. My really pleasant surprises, Edge of Tomorrow and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, I'm not saying movies like Guardians of the Galaxy, because I expected that to be like a 7. And it ended up being a 9. So that's not a big enough of a space for me. So those are the ones I would mention. Christian?
Definitely Spider-Man 2, because I enjoyed the first one. I was expecting, from what I had seen, a lot of fun and maybe doing the way that they combined it, the tone was all over the place for me, and I was really let down by it. And the more and more I thought about it, I got let down even more. I could go Transformers as well, because it's the same. These trailers. Maybe this is the one. Maybe this is the one that won't be as bad. But for me, it was actually Lucy. Lucy was the movie. When I saw trailers for Lucy, I said, this movie is going to be cool. It's going to have Luc Besson back on top. We're going to get a professional type thing, and this could actually spark the interest for a Black Widow movie, because it hasn't hurt her star power whatsoever.
No.
But now everyone, when they talk about Black Widow movie, they go, I can take it or leave it. If that movie would have delivered, and it would have been a surefire hit, and everyone loved it, people would be knocking on the door for a Black Widow movie, and I think that hurt its chances. As far as the movies that I wasn't expecting to be good, absolutely Edge of Tomorrow, one of my favorite movies. A movie that I thought was going to be okay and wound up being better than the first one was 22 Jump Street. I thought 22 Jump Street would be good, and it was great, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then The Raid 2. The Raid 2 was another one.
You didn't have high expectations with The Raid?
I thought that The Raid 2 would be enjoyable. I thought it was going to be fun. I didn't think that it would far surpass the first one and be one of my favorite. As I think about it, it enters my favorite movies category of all time. Like it had elements of Scarface and The Departed and just great martial arts.
Just that car chase scene alone
Everything.
blows
it's just
away
one
every
of the,
car chase
It's
scene I've
one
ever
of the
seen.
greatest martial arts films I've ever seen in my life, and a crime drama. So I wasn't expecting it to love it as much. So those are mine.
Shep?
Definitely The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was what I would say was my biggest disappointment. Why? Because I was so excited about it. Because the trailers, I drank the Kool-Aid on the Spider-Man trailers too. I was like, wow, they've really combined everything. It looks like this is going to be a great sequel. And it failed for me on every level. I was like, we've talked about it quite a bit. I really was ultra disappointed with it. So much so that I don't care about Spider-Man 3. That they delayed it 5 years. Delay it 10 years, because I'm not going to see it. I'll wait for a video. That's how, unless everyone tells me they redeemed it, it's a worthless, franchise at this point. The other one that I was really looking forward to that didn't hit me as much as I wanted to was Godzilla. Now, Godzilla, though I liked it, the constant cutaways became really annoying to me. Like, I was like, look, I get it. Maybe you guys are having a joke or having a little, are you having a bit? You're having a little bit of fun. It's like, are you having a laugh? It's, it just turned into this. It's becoming meta. By the 4th or 5th time, every time you show monsters about to fight, you cut away to a kid on the couch. I got pissed at the movie. And that takes a lot for me to actually get taken out of a film that now I'm sitting in the theater like, really, they're doing it again? And by the end of the movie, when they did it the 8th time I counted it, I was like, I was really bummed out. I was like, don't cut away again. And at least they let Godzilla rip the guy's mouth open. At least they didn't cut away at that part. Yeah. But honestly, I'm hoping that with the second movie, the director's coming back, they don't have to play that game anymore, and they just look, if you're going to do a Destroy All Monsters, you have Ghidra, and you have all these other monsters in there, just show a cool 10-minute battle scene, because that's what a lot of people who grew up like me as a kid watching Godzilla, that's kind of what we want, is a high-end version now, but that. We don't want to keep cutting away, and I get it. I get why they kept doing it, but to me that was my biggest disappointment. I didn't hate the movie, I just found that part.
Yeah, just way below where you were hoping it would be.
It's funny you say The Raid 2, because that was one of those where I was like, I'll definitely got to see it before it leaves theaters. Completely blown away by it. I agree 100% with you. It's one of those movies that I was desperately trying to get my friends to go see. You got to go support it. You got to see it in the theater. So please buy it, rent it, see it however you can. The Raid 2 is a phenomenal action movie and will just surpass everything you can possibly think. What you think we're talking about, you'll be extra blown away. Even if we gave you the entire movie beat by beat and gave you spoilers, you'd still be blown away. That's how good that film is. So what's another film? I had it on the top of my head, and now I just talked about Raid. I forgot about it, so we can move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then let
If I Stay?
Yeah, it was definitely If I Stay. I was, yeah.
All right, folks. So I said we leave a few minutes at the end for your live questions via Twitter, and we're going to do just that now. You can tweet in your questions at AMC Movie News. Ashley, what have you picked out?
Pablo Penguin writes, what would you think if they made a prequel to the Star Wars prequels?
Oh, wait, I remembered. It was Neighbors.
Oh yeah, that was way better.
It
than
was
we thought
Neighbors.
would
It
be.
was
Yeah.
way better than I expected. It'd just be kind of like, it'll be fun. The trailers look good, and I loved it. I think I gave it like a 9.5 or a 10
think you
or
gave it a
something.
10.
I gave it a 10 because me and Holly laughed all the way through from beginning to end. I highly recommend you see it now. If you missed it, I was like 5 points ahead of what I thought it'd be.
Can I be a jerk and say I'd probably be on my disappointed list?
But
Hey,
Neighbors,
that's fair enough.
No,
Yeah.
hey,
I liked the movie, it didn't deliver the way. But this is a different conversation.
Right.
Sorry.
Okay, so what would we feel about prequels to the prequels? No. No.
We don't need to, and you could do an Old Republic movie. That's all you need.
Yes.
Don't
Yeah,
give me a prequel
yeah.
to prequel. Give me an Old Republic movie, or you can do a spin-off movie if you want to do. I wouldn't want to see a Qui-Gon Jinn movie, but if they do it, fine. That would ultimately be, I guess, a prequel.
I don't even want to see. I don't want to see anything that reminds us at all of anything that has to do with the prequels.
But listen, that's where, and I know that when we get
But going 1,000 years into the past,
right, but,
that's
but
different.
I,
That's
and
a
I also
different
know
world.
that when we get Jedi Council on, we can talk more about this too. But we have Darth Plagueis. That's a lot.
In case you didn't know, we are relaunching Jedi Council, everybody.
Yes.
Just so you know.
And with that, the character of Darth Plagueis, if they ever bring him back in, what he did to lead up to Episode 1 would be very interesting. So if we get something along
I had
the
a
lines...
nickel every time I heard you go, Darth Plagueis, everybody. I know. Darth Plagueis.
And I'm telling you,
He is Darth Plagueis.
Yeah. What I would say is that to check. That's the only story that I'd want to see in that universe is the Plagueis thing, to see how Palpatine came to be in power. But yeah, Old Republic. Focus on the Old Republic. Get back into the Knights Republic. Let's see the Darth Bane trilogy. That's
Yeah. What about Revan? I mean, is
Right?
that part of?
Yeah,
Is that
Old,
part
that's
of
Old
canon?
Republic. We don't know yet. We don't know yet. I'm still waiting to talk to Leland Shee and Pablo Hidalgo. Maybe we'll get them on Jedi Council because they have the questions to know.
I would be with you. I don't want any prequels to the prequels. I would want the 1,000 years earlier, like when the Sith found you. Then they had their Sith Academy.
Yeah, it was all that stuff.
All that stuff from Knights of the Old Republic. I would just take those games that BioWare developed and make those part of canon.
There's nothing that says, even though nothing is canon anymore, but there's nothing that says that one of these spin-off films can't be set 5,000 years in the past.
Totally.
There's nothing
Right.
that says they can't do that.
Yeah.
And John Schnepp, actually, Knights of the Republic was 3,000 years ago.
Oh my God, I've been corrected by the ultimate Jedi nerd. I thank you for the correction, Christian. Darth Plagueis speaks. Wait, is it Plagueis or Plagueis? I don't even know how to say it.
All right, what's next?
Plagueis is Shia LaBeouf.
Chris Marabella writes, what is your favorite Harry Potter film?
The last one. The last one is actually my favorite Harry Potter. I know the weird thing about me with the Harry Potter films is a lot of people, a lot of staunch Harry Potter fans will say that the third one, directed by Alfonso Cuarón, was their favorite. That's actually my least favorite of them. I actually thought that movie was a bit of a mess. But that being said, whatever, who cares? For me, I thought once you got to number 4, I felt they just got better and better and better. And it was a great climax for me in I say that all the time. In the final Harry Potter film, I thought was really, really well done. I enjoyed it immensely, and I never counted myself as a Potterhead. I was never like, I can't wait for the next Harry Potter. But they did get better and better, and that last one really, really impressed me. I loved it a lot. What about you, Christian? What was your favorite Potter?
Well, I agree and disagree. Oops, see you later. I agree and disagree with you at the same time. I agree that the series got better with the fourth one because I think that you combine all those movies from fourth to the end and you get a solid just one movie, if you will. But the third one is my favorite.
Yeah. And most people's really, really love that third one.
And the reason why is because it shifted the tone of the Christopher Columbus. We're out of the kiddie phase here.
Right.
We're starting to get into
It
tones.
did kind of mark that shift from being a kid's story to a young adult story. And that really was the third one that did it.
That was it. It also introduced Sirius Black and that whole story angle and just him discovering himself of what he was ultimately be able to do as a wizard that would play into other things. And anytime you put time travel in a movie and execute it well for me is when I'm in.
Schnepp?
I wouldn't say I have a favorite Harry Potter, but I would count the third all the way to the end as like my favorite because I watched the first two, somewhat disinterested but engaged. Like, yeah, I like this world. I mean, it's like cool. I'm happy that Harry Potter didn't die in the first one or the second one. I'd like to see him.
Spoilers!
He didn't die in the first or the second. There's a whole bunch of ones that come afterwards. So yeah, the third one was definitely spooky and more like, oh wow, I love those whatever those creatures were on the train, those spooky, floaty.
Necromancer.
The necromancers.
No, they were called the
Death Eaters?
Death Eaters?
No, the Death Eaters were the other dude's followers. Those ones were called the.
I thought they were the Necromancers, no?
No, I'll remember. Somebody in the chat board, tell us what those.
Narcopathy creature.
What those things were called. I
Floaty
keep forgetting.
monsters.
Floaty flobbers.
Yeah. Yeah, read the books,
The Dementors.
guys.
Dementors.
Dementors.
There you go.
As they said, the Dementors.
3,000 years ago.
Yeah, 3,000 years ago, the Dementors first formed a collective universe and destroyed it.
So yeah, I count all those movies together. Like I remember seeing them, and it was just a good continuation. Even though Karan didn't keep directing, it was like they swapped out. I think who was the guy who stayed on for the last 4 movies?
Oh man.
It's horrible that I can't remember his name.
I
but
don't even know
remember
which character
Karan.
we're talking about.
No, he's talking
the
about the director.
Oh, the director. Yeah, he went on to direct a Twilight movie. No, that was David Yates.
That's David Yates. No, David Yates is who he's thinking.
Oh,
of.
he's David. So
yeah,
who
but
am I thinking?
no,
I'm thinking of
you're
somebody
thinking of
else.
Condon. You're thinking of
I am
Condon.
thinking of Bill Condon.
So
Yeah,
it's David
that's right.
Yates. Thanks,
Yes,
guys.
David Yates.
David Yates, he did a great job because it was a seamless, amazing. It basically made one giant 8-hour movie. So
We went on a long time with this, so let's take one more.
All right, Martin Whipke writes, love the show. What movie, in your opinion, has been the most socially impactful over the past few years? Thanks.
Past few years, man, it was funny because with his passing the other day, we talked about Attenborough's Gandhi, which socially changing films. Because if you're asking that question, you can't just bring up a movie that has a great social message. It has to have also been watched by enough people to make an impact or make a change. That's a great question. I'm having a hard time thinking of it off the top of my head.
I know this one's
So guys watching us live, start throwing in some of your suggestions into the chat board and share with
This is a
everybody else.
weird one. I mean, it has nothing to do with a biopic or anything. But I just rewatched Fight Club again last night.
Right.
For whatever, the 30th time. I've seen it so many times. Why? Because it's an amazing film that ages. It doesn't age. It's got this really bizarre social message in it that's wrapped inside and outside of coolness. So. And the message is just be yourself, be an individual, get outside of the box, think outside of the box, and don't be oppressed by things that can be oppressive in our world. So it has so many deep meanings to it that it's like anyone who's seen Fight Club and then gets into that message, it's like, I think that movie on its own has its own kind of forever moving, message. It's not like a peace message.
Yeah, I'd have to think about it too. Although I will say this: a couple of people in the chat board are going back to the Harry Potter thing, are complaining, saying that Harry Potter and Hermione should have ended up together. No. That would have been so Hollywood formula, paint by the numbers, cookie cutter ending as everything else. I actually, one of the things that I loved about that last Harry Potter one was that they didn't do the stereotypical have the lead girl end up with the lead guy. I'm so glad they didn't do that.
And I think Yates, from what they're rumoring, is that he's going to come back to do the spin-off movie, right?
Spooky Monsters.
Oh, I believe so. Fantastic Creatures and Where to Find Them.
Yeah, and that's a prequel.
Yeah, like 70 years earlier.
yeah.
If the Dementors are in it, I'll see it.
But I love that he's going back too, because that we'll feel like we're still part of the same universe, almost the way we would in an Old Republic movie, to where we feel like, oh, okay, we're back here.
Yeah, it feels comfortable. It feels right. All right, folks, so that'll do it for us for this installment of AMC Movie Talk. Thank you so much for joining us. Listen, don't forget, lots of great films playing at AMC Theaters right now. Head on over to www.amctheaters.com for your theater, showtime, and movie ticket information. Listen, yesterday we launched one of our new shows that we're really proud of called AMC Indie Spotlight, just focusing and looking at the films, independent film, especially the ones playing as a part of AMC Independent. Just search on YouTube. We'll put the link in the description below as well. And we've got an entirely separate YouTube channel for it, so you can go there if you're really into indie film. And we got Amy Rose hosting it. Alicia Malone is in it. They got some great guests on it. Go check it out if you are a fan of indie film. If you want an audio-only version of this episode, look in the description of this video and you'll find a link to our podcast feed. And I want to thank the guys sitting at the table with me. First of all, of course, right here, Mr. Christian Harloff. Christian, where can people find you online?
Twitter, Instagram, at Christian Harloff, and you can always check out my website, schmozno.com.
And of course, right beside him, Mr. John Schnepp. Schnepp, where can people find you?
At Twitter, Instagram, John Schnepp, and also at TDOSLWH. And come to Cinefamily, part of the Everything Is Festival if you're in Hollywood, California. This Sunday, I'm doing The Death of Superman Lives, a couple of sneak peeks, show some scenes, talk about the movie. So come on down. It's 1:30 Sunday, August 31st at Cinefamily.
And of course, our lovely host today, Miss Ashley Mova. Ashley, where can people find you?
Twitter, Instagram, at Ashley Mova. Bye, guys.
And you can find me on the various social media networks at John Campia. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. My name is John Campia for AMC Movie News, and until next time, bye-bye.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC Movie Talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.